Hi, this is Flash the Daily Drive. Today's video is about contractor stings. This is a request topic. I received an email from someone talking about that they had been involved in this California contractor sting and felt kind of manipulated into giving prices and giving a quote and giving, and basically, signing paperwork and kind of being pushed into it, and wanted to know, how to deal with it now and how I should have dealt with it then. So I just wanted to talk about how to deal with it. And I'm sitting on the 405 freeway in traffic and thought this was a good opportunity to talk about this. So first of all, when you go out, to do an estimate, you have to remember what you're allowed to do. And contracting without a license basically is saying that you are quoting a job and you're quoting it over $500, including material, and you are, they get your signature, and it's right after they get your signature on something. So, first of all, my first advice is just to, just in general, just to make sure that you cover all your bases and your angles. It's typically not a good idea to quote right there on the spot, because you can make a mistake. You could, either be unfair to yourself or your customer by rushing to a quote. Most quotes, you want to, maybe you've done other jobs and you want to do some comparisons or something like that. So you shouldn't be signing anything right there on the premises anyway. But especially when you're dealing with someone who you haven't worked for before, you need to be even more careful. Most of your regular clients, they're going to have their little punch lists, and that stuff doesn't really apply anyway, because they can, they're going to just kind of send you a handyman list, and it's repair stuff. And that's not really what the contractor's board is going after. You can do the little repairs, and they can give you that list, and you can bill under $500 easily in doing these little punch lists. And you're not quoting, you're not estimating, you're doing it hourly typically. So it's usually the new customer that doesn't know how you work. They're not comfortable with you working by the hour, so they're asking you to quote it because they don't have any kind of history with you. So those are the ones that you have to be careful, because it's not that you're intending on working illegally, and that's not what I'm suggesting. But what I'm suggesting is, I have heard many times where people feel like, that's not how they run their business, but when they get there and they have someone saying, well, what about doing this floor? And they know that floor is going to be like $2,500, and they're like, how much would you charge? And I've got some estimates, and I'd love to have you do it, and I like you, and what would you charge? And they're like pushy, and then you're like, oh yeah, I could do it for $2,500. Well, you're above the $500. And they're like, I have to share it with my sister, or this is my mom's place, and and I have to get approval. So can we just write that down and just put it in writing, or and sign this, and then you sign it, and then a couple guys in suits come out of another bedroom or come out of somewhere and introduce themselves, and they're usually they don't put you in handcuffs, but I have heard cases where you're trying to develop this rapport, so you trust them just like they should be trusting you, and they ask you those, they say it in a way, to push you to do that. So you need to stick to your, the way you do business and not change things based on how they do business, what they want. So if you don't typically, quote right there on the spot, then don't. Do it, tell them that you have to put something together and you can email them or drop something off later or whatever. So I don't know if you can hear that, but this plastic bag just flew up and caught on my antenna, and it's flapping around now, and I can't do anything about it. I would say that's the number one thing. And also, check the laws where you live and where you are performing your work, and make sure that you can, there's certain things you can do and you can't do. So when you go out to these places, you need to be prepared just like they're preparing to try to catch you at something. So be prepared, go out there, be nice, do your thing, but do your thing. That's the best advice I can give you, is don't get caught up in, doing something that you're uncomfortable with, or talking about something that you shouldn't be. Advertising, you need to say specifically that you are not a contractor, that you are not a licensed contractor. So that's another thing that they will get you on, is just your advertising alone. And remember, how they found you was your advertising. So just be very, there's nothing to be ashamed of. Be very upfront about, hey, I'm not a licensed contractor. I'm a handyman. This is what I can do for you. And most customers, if they're not trying to catch you, most customers need you. They need you more than they need the contractor. So they're going to appreciate you being able to take care of their little punch lists. And eventually they're going to develop a rapport with you, and they're going to know that you're just there to do business and get your job done. You're not there to just milk them out of their money. And and then you can turn things into hourly, and they can send you a punch list, and you can do the repairs for them. Just remember, the Contractors Board, they're trying to stop the handyman from doing big projects. And and do I think it's fair, the dollar amounts? No. And that's why we are putting our efforts towards increasing those dollar amounts and making it more fair for the handyman, and having the Contractors Board concentrate on their own contractors. If we raise the limits to $2,500, then everybody makes a living, and then it's fair for everybody. Handyman can do the small jobs, contractors can do the big jobs, and everybody goes home happy and feeds their family. So that's the goal. But in the meantime, just be careful when you're doing anything, any kind of quoting or something, and when you're working, especially, obviously for someone that you don't know, how they do this is they find, they go into homes and they set it up as a sting, and they, basically then they call you and say, hey, we need, my house painted or something like that. They call you about jobs that obviously are over $500. So, you just need to follow your gut sometimes. And, honestly, I Google who I'm going to see. I look up, I look up and find out who I'm actually going to work for. So, you can do that too. Google the house, see who owns the house, just do a little bit of homework yourself. So, anyway, that was the daily drive for me today on the 405 freeway. And anyway, happy home repairs. This was Flash.